Welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Teri Hunter. I'm an intuitive astrologer, and I'm here today to talk about the month of August and the astrological dynamics that will be taking place during the month. This year, 2023, is a real pivotal year for reflection and introspection, and in many ways, as a result of that, shifting gears and moving into a new direction, or actually capitalizing and moving into a higher vibration of what we've already been working on manifesting. I think this is going to be a year where we clear away our personal fog, where we clear away the illusions of disempowerment and really step into the vibration of co-creation that starts first with our intention and then continues on with our focused thoughts. And I think that the stars are aligning to support that endeavor. Today is August 2nd, 2023. Yesterday, we had a full moon in Aquarius at 9 degrees. I've done a separate video on that. If you'd like to check that out, there's detailed information for each sign. Today, I'm going to talk about the aspects in general. I'm not going to address each one of the specific signs. So when I talk about a house or a sign, look to your personal chart to see how this transit might be affecting you. Now, when you look at your chart, be sure not only to look at conjunctions, but say, for instance, you have a trine. If a planet is transiting and hitting a point in that trine, it's sending a ripple effect throughout the whole trine. So check that out. You'll start to see a correlation between the way you're feeling, things that you're experiencing in the outside world, and this dynamic and the transits that are going on. So let's jump into the first, what I think is a very favorable aspect that is taking place and dominating the first week of August. And this is Mars at 13 degrees of Virgo, making a trine to Jupiter at 13 degrees of Taurus. These are two earth signs. So this is really about grounding, and when I say grounding, I mean this is about standing on the earth with my own 2 feet and asking myself if I'm willing to be brave. Mars, 13 degrees, the Aries degree, courage, to really examine my beliefs and if they are supporting what I want to experience moving forward, or if the belief is in a wobble of some kind based on what I have experienced in my past. The full moon in Aquarius at the 9th degree on the 1st of August gave us an opportunity to liberate ourselves from beliefs that restrict us. It made a square to Jupiter at 13 degrees of Taurus, emphasizing the tension between where I have been and where I want to go, and my belief about the feasibility, the possibilities, and the viability of that endeavor. Now Mars is saying, are we brave? Because the trine is supporting this endeavor. The trine is bringing in a harmonious dynamic to allow yourself not to maybe release or throw away one belief, but to take the dynamic that belief is part of the recipe that helped you expand your beliefs and move into a more rooted and more experienced in the material world dynamic. That's what the Taurus and Virgo energy gives us, something to experience here on the earth. Now, during this week, we have Mercury in an exact opposition to Saturn, retrograde in Pisces. Mercury has entered Virgo. It is now at 5 degrees. That opposition, the 5th degree, is the Leo degree of your personal wants, desires, how you enjoy things, where you find entertainment, and how you stand in leadership and encourage for what your heart wants to experience. Mercury is going to sort of challenge you right now about what you believe. The opposition with Saturn will make Mercury sit and examine where it's been, what the history of the situation is, how much have I built already, where are my fears, and Virgo being an energy that by nature is dependable to what is expected of it within the earthly plane, is now this opposition with Saturn in Pisces is sort of tasking me on a spiritual level to start to create a stronger foundation, not based on what I can see, smell, touch, or taste with my physical senses, but rather to root it into my imagination, into my spiritual conversation with those that I cannot see. Pisces, Saturn retrograde, giving me an opportunity to re-evaluate, to assess, to review where I have been and how I have been manifesting, because the laws of the universe support our effortless manifestation. When we effort, we sit in an energy of disbelief. Now, most of us will say that's not true. I'm just working hard towards my goal. But the idea of working hard is counterintuitive to the ease of reception, to inviting in an experience and knowing that as you focus in on how that experience feels when you're receiving it, that allows the universe to start to line up the components to support that endeavor. Now, underneath all of this, Mars asking us to be brave in where we have felt enslaved. Mercury illuminating where our mind is marrying us to our duty and to where we have been perceived as the practical one who will implement what we need to get done. Virgo is an energy of service. Virgo is ruled by Mercury. Virgo is a sign that rules enslavement. It is, I'm enslaved to my job because I need to pay my bills. Now, the tension between Mercury and Saturn is offering us a new version of how that looks. And this is where Venus retrograde comes into play, because Venus retrograde at 26 degrees Leo this week is making a trine to the North Node at 28 degrees Aries. This is supporting my individual, how do I want to say this? It's my individual wants and desires and my willingness to pioneer in my own life and use my skills, to trust Venus, the relationships, Venus, the money, Venus, my skills, Venus, my partnerships, Venus, my resources will support my individual desires and vision of what I want my life to be. This North Node going through Aries over the next year and a half is really going to illuminate and to task us with our individual thought and our discernment with the input that's coming towards us, where we have been, as humans, conditioned to be amicable, to be cooperative, even if it doesn't feel right for us. And this North Node in Aries is tasking us to sort of have a little bit of abandon about what others are thinking and really go to our inner being and trust an inner knowing, an inner gut. Venus is also in a growing square with Uranus. So Venus is retrograding at 26 degrees. Uranus is at 22 degrees Taurus. Uranus will retrograde at the end of August. So it's starting to slow its roll a little bit, slow the forward motion as it's starting to station. And here this square is offering us an opportunity to liberate ourselves. And some of us may experience that through a bit of disruption. Uranus is sort of lightning bolt genius ideas, but it's also lightning bolt shocks that throw us off kilter. And when we're thrown off kilter, we end up going to an instinctual place. And I think this is really benefiting us, because when we trust our gut instinct versus the input that's coming towards us, we find the truth lies down that path. Uranus is going to retrograde on August 29th for 151 days. That takes us all the way into January 2024. It will retrograde from 23 degrees all the way back to 19 degrees. Uranus has not experienced the 20 degrees, 20, 21, 22, 23. These are all new degrees for Uranus. So as it retrogrades, we're going to be assessing what we have discovered during that period of time and then move that information forward in 2024. So I really think this is an important liberating energy as Uranus continues, because this is going to be a long square. Venus is moving backward until September 4th, where she will retrograde all the way back to 12 degrees. So for pretty much most of the month of August, she'll be having this tense conversation with Uranus. And Uranus is, at this point, I feel as if Venus is still trying to play nice, like, let's make everybody feel good. And Uranus is sort of like, if we all want to feel good, something's got to give. And I think that's what's going to reveal itself. We have Jupiter, and I want to bring this up because I think this is powerful. Jupiter will retrograde on the very same day that Venus moves direct. This is September 4th. So towards the end of August, we're going to be feeling the vibrations of Jupiter slowing its roll there in Taurus, assessing its historic beliefs, Venus asking herself over and over again, what do I require in romance? How do I want to express my own inner creativity, the performer in me? Because to be a performer is not always to be on stage. It's whenever we are allowing ourselves the experience of joy and artistic expression. So I think this is going to be very powerful because Jupiter's retrograde will last till the end of the year. Literally on the 31st of December, it will move forward. And it's going to retrograde from 15 to 5 degrees Taurus. So if you have any planets in that area, this is going to be very powerful because it's going to revisit what you believe. Have you been allowing for your expansion? Are you moving into new, diverse areas, foreign territories, broadening your ideologies and philosophies? And this also has to do with business. Taurus is a money house. Jupiter rules business and commerce, publishing, marketing. So you may revisit some of your plans. You may expand upon them. This can be very favorable. We have, I wrote a note on the backside of my notes. We have from August 7th through the 14th, Mars is going to be in a quincux to Chiron, retrograding in Aries. A quincux is a tense, sort of a blind spot. To me, it feels as if in many ways, I'm kind of traveling down a road and I'm about to go around a corner and I can't quite see what's there. And it's also between two planets. It can very much it's a feeling of not seeing eye to eye. It's as if the styles are a little bit different. And in doing so, there's a lack of appreciation for the opposing style. So here's Mars that actually rules Aries, but it's in Virgo. So it's being asked to be practical. It's asked to be dependable while it's having a conversation with Chiron that's representing the wound in its own house. So this is a wound of the self, and Virgo can very much represent where I have been enslaved to a certain dynamic because people expect it of me, and it's how I have been perceiving my value through the eyes of others. Mars is also at that time, it's conjunct Mercury. So it's going to bring up your everyday activities. It's going to bring up your thought process, the people you interact with, how they're responding to you. And at the same time, during this week, Mars is making a trine to Uranus. And so I really believe that there's an opportunity to feel a sense of enlightened rebellion. an awareness that sometimes in order for us to be happy in our own lives, maybe we need to be the villain in someone else's story. Uranus, if you think about it, it rules libertarians, it rules revolutionary people. And, you know, the forefathers of this country were the villains and the criminals to those back in England when we were declaring our independence. So where will you be a criminal and a rebel in your own life in order to live the life you want to live? I think this is super powerful. And to me, it feels like the theme of 2023. We are also seeing, because I feel like we have blocks of time where these influences are taking place. So this is, again, a week of feeling like this. We see on the 15th of the month, Pluto retrograde at 28 degrees Capricorn is now making a trine aspect to Mars in Virgo and a trine aspect to Uranus in Taurus. So we've got all the Earth planets, the Earth signs having a conversation, a very strong conversation about how are we going to plant our lives now moving forward. Pluto has been working very hard to take out any energies that aren't really serving the soul's intention, because oftentimes, you know, when we get under the veil of the human experience, we get driven into a path that seems very realistic, and yet it is counterintuitive to our true happiness. So I think here, this is where we're going to see Uranus and Pluto, while they both have very disruptive energies, and so can Mars here. Here, I feel like they're all standing in their highest vibration, offering a rebirth. But we, as humans and as souls and inhabiting a human experience, get to rise to the occasion and take up a vibration that stands for our own happiness. That's the way it feels to me. We also have between the 18th of the month and the 25th, Mercury, the moon, and Mars will all sort of be hanging out together. This is going to be, the moon will be zipping through, but the Mars and Mercury energy will be continuing on. So we're going to feel that trine going on. And at the same time, while we have that supportive trine in the earth signs, we have Pluto making these karmic squares to the nodes now in the sign of Aries and Libra. And Libra, while it rules partnership, it also rules civil servants. It rules people who protect us, like policemen. It rules diplomats. So I think right now where I'm going with this nodal axis is, where am I willing to be diplomatic? The South Node in Libra. And in that diplomacy, let what does not serve my happiness move away as I stretch myself, the North Node in Aries, to be courageous, to follow my heart and stand in leadership for those who also want to follow their heart. I think this is a very powerful time for us. I think these are the themes going on throughout the year. And each month we're becoming more aware of our own vibration, our own frequency. And as we become aware of that, we can ask ourselves, is this vibration, is this thought process, is this focal point serving what I want to experience, or is it tethering me to something that I've experienced over and over and over again? I'm currently experiencing a square between Pluto and my natal Mars. My natal Mars is in Libra at 27 degrees. And I feel very peaceful right now, because I feel like what has happened for me is, in that square, Pluto has tasked me to look at where my anger and my resentment and my more aggressive energies lie. And do they serve the outcome I want? And while I'm capable of certain Martian energies, I feel very brave and courageous in my calm, in pioneering into new emotional territories for myself, to start to trust the universe as I align to the outcome I want versus the journey to getting there. So I think this is very important for all of us. We also will experience on the 23rd, Mercury will retrograde in Virgo until September 15th. So the conversations that Mercury's been having with Mars and with the Taurus energy of Jupiter and Uranus, all of this is going to continue on. So we're going into a dynamic where by the end of the month, I think we're going to have 6 planets plus Chiron retrograde. Let me check my notes here. Yes, 6 planets plus Chiron will be retrograde by the end of the month. And while we experience retrogrades all the time, I find the number 7 very interesting. 6 planets plus the asteroid Chiron in a 7-year. We see Venus, who rules the 7th house, being pivotal in a lot of the conversations the planets are having. So here we are being offered an opportunity to seek a balance within our own emotional, mental, spiritual, and physical vibration. And I think balance is an awareness of an ebb and a flow, and learning how to master when we're in a flow to capitalize on that flow, and when we're in an ebb, rather than to panic and fear and scarcity, to use it to play, to be inspired through the action of play, relaxation, enjoyment, and trust. Because all those things, playtime, enjoyment, entertainment, they have a vibration of trust that the universe will bring to me what I need versus my efforting. So I think that's what's really interesting and powerful in this month of August 2023. I do a live show every Sunday at 11 a.m. Pacific time, where I do live readings for each one of the signs based on your rising sign. We do an angel read plus a tarot card, and we look at how the angels are giving us advice for moving forward in the week's transits ahead. So I hope you'll join me for that. If you can't be there live, you can always look on the under the live videos on my YouTube channel here. They're there. If you'd like to get a reading with me, I am available for both astrology readings as well as intuitive readings. You just get to reach out to me through my email, and I'll give you all the information you need. So that's it for the month of August. It's going to be a good month, I think. I think it's going to be a month that's going to tee up a lot of benefit moving forward. And that benefit comes from bravery. Bravery in my thought process, bravery to follow my heart, and bravery to listen to my inner voice. All right, everybody, that's it for me. Again, my name is Teri Hunter. Peace out. I'll see you next time.